Our rankings for the Miami Grand Prix are out, and it's Albon who tops the standings this time with a 9.8 rating, man. Aye, fair enough. Albon has been having the season of his career so far in F1, but this weekend he showed levels, man. In the sprint, he was unlucky to lose the P4 after getting that unfortunate penalty, man. But in the race, surpassing both of the Ferraris and battling with the Mercedes in the end. Chai, and beating them, bro. He could have even got P4 if George didn't get the safety car helping him out, bro. Chai. It's Oscar Piastri. He had a very solid weekend yet again. Got unlucky with the safety car in the sprint. But in the race, he had great race pace and showed great racecraft against Max Verstappen. And then after getting past Verstappen, I'm sure he was just managing the gap at the end. And he's got his 4th race win of the season now. Fair enough. Now, he became a father this weekend, but it was still a Verstappen-esque display from him this time around. He's P3 in these rankings this time. In the sprint, the whole pit stop situation, that wasn't really his fault. The team released him kind of out of order. But in the race, being able to hold off the McLaren for as long as he did, you have to respect him, man. And in the end, he even got screwed by the VSC as well. So that's how George got the podium. Otherwise, a P3 was still going to be coming his way, man. So you have to respect him, man. Now, I'm tempted to say that this is slightly unfair to Norris, being only P4 in these rankings, because on paper, a win in the sprint and then a second in the race is pretty good, But I guess it's just how it happened, right? In the sprint race, I guess the judges were thinking that he got kind of lucky with the VSC. And then in the actual race, the start especially. But I don't even think that was his fault, man. Like, what do you expect him to do, bro? In the end, it was kind of a racing incident, but still, he recovered pretty well. And I think this is a peak. This is a peak one this time. So P5 in these rankings, and by his own admission, this was a struggle of a weekend. But to come away with a podium at your worst, you have to commend him, man. Ultimately, he did get lucky with the VSC, helping him out to be ahead of Max in the race. But again, his pace was good, and you have to respect it, bro. Antonelli's joint P5, and, this was a peak weekend for him, I'll be real. In both races, he got shafted in one way or the other. In the sprint, obviously, the whole Max unsafe release situation. And then in the race, the VSC timing, and then even the slow release and the pit stop as well. So he wasn't able to maximize his position from the start. But, it's one of those weekends where he still showed his quality. And his joint P5 in these rankings as well. He did retire in the sprint, but in the race, after sustaining some damage at the start, he was still able to put pressure on the Ferraris, and he probably would have overtaken Hamilton if there was one more lap, so you have to respect it still. And again, in qualifying, he was there as well with his teammate, man, even ahead at the start, so big up Sainz, and it was just a lucky one this weekend for him. And my boy Lewis makes a return to the rankings now in P8, fair enough. He got the podium in the sprint with a great gamble to go into the softs at the right time. And then in the race, recovering from P12 to P8, Hamilton had been allowed to pass Leclerc earlier. He could have even been challenging Antonelli. Hadjar's enjoying P8 in these rankings, and this was one of those peak weekends where the top 10 positions were kind of occupied by the top 5 teams. So it was always going to be a struggle for him to get points in the Grand Prix. But in the race, he was pushing down Tsunoda to the last laps, man, with that 5-second penalty impending. And he was so close to doing it. And it's Leclerc P10 in these rankings. This was a challenging weekend for Ferrari overall. And for Leclerc, obviously crashing before the sprint race even started was definitely not a great start. But in the race, he moved up a position from where he started to finish P7. What do you guys think about these rankings, man? Let me know. Is there anyone that you think should have been here that missed out?